Hello traders, hope you're doing well. Welcome to my video on the MACD and Bollinger Bands EA that I've developed for the MT4 trading platform. This EA is completely free to download and use. You can find the link in the description below. In this video, I'm just going to run through the various settings and ways in which you can implement this EA within your trading strategy. So as the name suggests, this EA combines the MACD indicator with the Bollinger Bands indicator, two of the most popular indicators when it comes to trading online. So you can see here I have the MT4 platform. I've just run a random backtest here using the Bollinger Bands. You can see a decent graph there. So if we go to the settings, you can see I've selected the MACD and Bollinger Bands EA here. The symbol chosen the euro dollar and the 1 hour chart time frame. I always prefer the higher chart time frame, so the 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, monthly, simply because it contains more price data and therefore I find signals tend to be more reliable. That applies not just to automated trading with EA such as this one, but also manual trading. Okay, that being said, you can use any currency pair and time frame that you wish. You can also use it on other instruments such as stocks, commodities, cryptos, depending on what your broker offers. For the testing model, I've chosen open prices only. We can use open prices only as that's what the EA uses for calculating the indicators. However, you will want to switch over to every tick testing once you really want to fine tune some settings, simply because every tick testing will do every tick within the bar. Okay, and this can have a significant impact when it comes to stop loss, take profit, trailing stop, and break even. Okay, so the use date, I've just selected the last few months here, and the spread is we've selected the current spread, which uses the current market spread. Just be aware if you do plan on doing some testing and you're doing it on the weekends, the current market spread can be much higher than usual. Okay, so you can always just manually change the spread in there as well. So if we go to the expert properties, I just run through some of the various settings that you can customize in this EA. Okay, so pop-up alerts. This is basically, if you set this to true, you'll get a pop-up alert on your platform with a sound on a pop-up box. That will tell you, for example, buy signal on the euro dollar 1 hour chart, or sell signal on the pound dollar 4 hour chart. It just depends on the instruments that you're watching. This is handy because you can simultaneously track as many charts and timeframes as you wish. For example, you could have 20, 30, 40, 50 charts running the EA. And just get signals accordingly. This just saves you having to scan through all the different charts looking for the relevant signals. Okay, the expert name you can change in here. Just change that to Bollinger Bands there. Okay, so email alerts works the same as the pop-up alerts. Instead, it will send you an email with the signal. Same for the SMS alerts. This is handy if you're away from your machine. Perhaps you're out and about, sat on the sofa, whatever you may be doing, you can receive the alert and then fire up your charts and act accordingly, whether that's to place a trade, just to confirm the signal, to manage it, opening position. And use trading, when use trading is set to true, this basically allows the EA to handle everything for you. So it will place the trade, manage the trade. You can also have use trading and alert set to true as well, if you like. This is handy if you want the EA to place the trade and then receive an alert to let you know there has been a trade placed, and then you can just open your charts when you get a chance, check the position, make sure everything is okay, perhaps adjust the stop loss. For example, you might get the EA just to place the trade with a stop loss and then adjust the stop loss depending on the recent high or recent low price. Okay. Days filters, self-explanatory, the days of the week that you want the EA to be able to trade. Same with the hours. Okay, so you can choose the hours you'd like to trade. Perhaps if you're Using a momentum-based trading strategy, you might want to trade during active hours on the particular instrument that you're using. For example, if you are trading the euro dollar, you might just want to set it to trade when the London and the NY trading sessions are both open. And on the other hand, if you're using a range-bound trading strategy, perhaps scalping, then you can always set it to the evening when the London and NY sessions are closed, so during the Asian session. As I'm trading longer term charts and trying to capture big trends, I'm just quite happy to leave that 0 to 24, so all day long, every day of the week. Okay, magic number. This is the order ID that is sent along when trades are placed. Can be useful if you are running other EAs on the same account and you just want to differentiate the trading from them. Okay, maximum spread, maximum slippage. The EA will avoid sending a signal or placing a trade if the spread or slippage is greater than these values, which are in pips. This is to help avoid unsuitable market or broker conditions. Open orders limit, set to 1 by default. This will allow a maximum of 1 open buy and or 1 open sell trade at any time. Having this set at 1 just avoids duplicate or very similar trades. Lots, you can set the position size here. Lots is only used if use risk is set to false. Okay, if you set use risk to true, then the EA will calculate the lot size depending on the value that you set here in the risk percent field. Okay, stop loss and take profit, self-explanatory. As I said, if you do use auto trading in the EA, you can just use, say you use a 50 pip stop loss by default, you can always amend it manually. Take profit. Honestly, I prefer just to leave that set at 0 because I'm going to take what the market can give me. It might give me a lot more than if we had 100 pip take profit. There might be a lot more pips available if we just zoom out, for instance. I can see here this big downtrend here. Okay, this is a rough test, so you can ignore these trades taken here. But say we had taken this sell trade here, okay, and exited there for what, that's 10 pips, when really this was dropped over 200 pips. Okay, we could have looked to have exited manually, or using a trailing stop and break even, which is a feature also built into the EA, which I'll cover in a minute. But as we see in the market making these higher lows, could have looked to have exited manually. Otherwise, if we did take the sell trade and price was dropping, I'd just be moving the stop loss. I'd have the stop loss initially above a recent high, so around here somewhere, and then as price begins to fall, I'll just put it above the high, 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 until price does eventually take us out. But that way we've milked the move as much as possible without using a rigid fixed take profit. Just as I said with the stop loss, say you took this sell trade here, okay, the stop loss wouldn't necessarily be 50 pips up here or 100 pips up here. Instead, you could just look at a recent high and put it there. Okay, I don't know, if we sold here, we might want to use this recent high instead of having it wider up here. Okay, so I do prefer the semi-automated trading aspect where you can use the EA to give you the signals, and perhaps do the initial stop loss and take profit, but then just amend it depending on your money management preferences. Close opposite signal, if set to true, the EA will close an open trade when there's a signal in the opposite direction. Break even and trailing stop. So as I mentioned, you can set a break even to true. When this value in pips is reached, let's just say 50 pips, the EA will move the stop loss to break even point. This is handy so we don't let winning trades turn into losing ones. Nothing's more frustrating than seeing a favorable position turn against you for a loss. Then you also have the trailing stop. If you set that to true, the EA will keep moving the trailing stop by this distance. So if set to 50, it will trail the price by 50 pips and move the stop loss each time the 50 pips or the trailing gap is reached. Close percent, you can set the EA to close a percent of the order once the break-even point and trailing gap points are reached. For example, 25, every time they reach 25% of the position will be closed and the remaining parts of the position will be left open. This can help you bank some pips whilst trying to capture bigger moves as well. Minimum lot to close. Okay, so once there's this remaining lot value, the EA will stop closing part of the trade. So let's just say you're trading, you've got user is set to false and you're trading one standard lot, and then you put the minimum lot to close 0.5. Once the position's closed until there's only 0.5 lots left, the EA will stop closing the percentage. Okay, MACD, so this is the nitty gritty of the EA, the strategy that it uses. So it uses the MACD and Bollinger Bands indicators. MACD zero line. Okay, let me just fire up let me just insert a MACD onto the chart here. Okay, so we got the MACD indicator on the chart now. The MACD zero line, when price is above the zero line, which is this middle line here, it's a buy signal. When price is below, it's a sell signal. Okay, so that's the MACD zero line if that's set to true. If the MACD trend line is set to true, that means that the histogram, these bars here, have to be above the red line for a buy signal or an uptrend, or the histogram bars have to be below the red line for a sell signal or a downtrend. Okay, you can have them both set to true. You can have one or the other set to true. Bollinger Bands. Okay, so Bollinger Bands reversal. If that's set to true, just zoom in there. Bollinger Bands reversal is set to true, then price needs to, for a sell trade, break out above the upper band as it does here, or for a buy trade, break out below the lower band as it does there. Okay, and for the breakout, Bollinger Bands breakout, it just does the opposite. So if price moves above the upper band, it would be a buy trade rather than a reversal sell trade. If price breaks out below the lower band, it will be a sell trade rather than a reversal buy trade. Okay, so you can just choose between a reversal or breakout on the bands. And you can combine the MACD and the Bollinger Bands. So for example, you could have MACD trend set to true, along with a Bollinger breakout set to true. So then you'd need this breakout here. This would be a sell trade because price breaks out below the lower band and the MACD is trending sell. So that'd actually be a nice sell trade there. Okay, price above the high, which is 25 pips. As I said, the EA uses fixed levels, so you could always hop in with an alert, just check and adjust the stop loss accordingly. Okay, so that's all the settings. I'll just reset those. Change the name, Bollinger Bands. Okay, what I'm going to show you now is how to optimize an EA, or this EA in MT4. Basically, optimization does a combination of all the settings that you test just to show you what the results would be across historical data. Okay, it's not bulletproof. By default, the MT4 strategy tester is limited to 90% modeling quality. You can get third-party software to boost that to 99%, but of course, you can never replicate real market conditions simply due to factors such as slippage, real variable spreads, commissions, broker server, and other things. Okay, but we'll use what we can, and it can give you a rough idea of how strategy will perform. But as I said, I'm always looking to manually amend things myself, but each to their own. So for this optimization, you choose the settings you want to optimize. So if you just click, should be one standard lot. So stop loss, if you select that box there, and you can say, I want to test a 25 pip stop loss. So that's where you start, 25 pips, all the way up to 100 pip stop loss. And I want to step in 25 increments. So that would test a stop loss of 25, 50, 75, and 100. Okay, because you're starting at 25, going up to 100 in 25 steps. Take profit. We can test 0, go up in 100 and stop at 500. So that'll test 0 pips. 100 pips, 200 pips, 300 pips, 400 pips, and 500 pips. Close opposite signal, we can set that to true or false. Break even, true or false. Break even point, let's go 25 pips. Up in 25, we'll go to 100. Trailing stop, we'll do true or false. And for the trailing gap, we can go 25, 25, all the way up to 100. Close percent, let's say close 0%, close 25%, or close 75%, and the minimum lot to close, let's say 0.25 up to 1. Okay, MACD, true or false. We can do the fast MACD, let's do 12, go up in 12, 72, 26, 26. I think 52 should be enough for that. And for the SMA on the MACD. Bollinger Bands, true, false, for reversal and breakout. For the periods, we can start at 10, go up in 10, stop at 30. And for the deviations, let's go for 1 and stop at 2. Okay, so we've selected all the settings that we want to optimize, and the strategy tester will do us all the various combinations. In this optimization tab here, you can check any of the boxes if you want to filter results so they meet these requirements. For example, if you want your maximal drawdown to be on the results to be 10, or no, let's say 20, you just set the value in there that you want. Have that box checked, and then you'll only see results that meet that filter you've done there. I leave those all unchecked all the time just because I like to see what the different combinations would produce, whether that's good or bad. Okay, and this genetic algorithm, this is the deposit you're testing with up here, the currency and the direction if you want to trade long and short, short only or long only. And the optimized parameter, what matters most to you, just leave it on balance. And genetic algorithm, okay, this is quite important. If you have this checked, the strategy tester will do all of the possible combinations. No, sorry, it will do what it believes will be the best of these possible combinations. On the other hand, if you uncheck it, strategy tester will do every single possible combination, which can take a long time depending on how many settings you're optimizing and the power of your computer, but I generally leave this checked. Click OK, click the optimization, choose the data, your instrument time frame, and then click start. What will happen then is the strategy tester will run through all of those various settings and pump out the results with the various combinations here in the optimization results tab. So it shows you the different settings that were used in each run. Okay, and that's done. And then you can filter these results by profit, trades, profit factor, expected payoff, drawdown in monetary or percentage value. Let's just sort by profit. Okay. And then this top one, we can see 64 trades, decent profit factor, low drawdown. And then if you double click it, okay, any of the settings, that will load those particular settings into the expert properties for you automatically. Okay. And then you can always save to use at a later date and click load if you want to load settings you've saved before when you're attaching the EA2 charts or running more tests. So just click OK. We'll run that single test, optimizations unchecked. Let's just run that individual test using those settings, and you can see there's the graph using those optimization results. If you double click that one, run it, it will show you the graph using those settings. Okay, and so on and so forth. Right, now what you may be thinking is, well, fantastic, look at that, that's a nice graph. This is the best EA ever. Let's package it up and sell it. No, what we've done there is what's known as over-optimization or curve fitting. We've basically taken a random bunch of settings and fitted them to the data set that we're using, in this instance, the Eurodollar 1 hour data for the last few months, okay? If you throw enough, you know what, at the wall, some of it is bound to stick. So we don't get our hopes up too much, because I'm pretty sure if we take those same settings and we go back a year, okay, and then run the settings again, let's see what happens. Doesn't look so great, does it now? And we can pretty much pinpoint exactly where optimization starts, and I'm going to say it's around here. Let's see if the date will pop up. Yeah, nearly to the day. that's when our optimization started. So that's exactly when it started to move upwards, because we curve fitted or over optimized for this particular data here. Look at before, it's not so great, right? Well, what some people may do is say, well, why don't you just optimize again, but optimize for more data? The thing is, you can do that until you're blue in the face. You can do over 2 years of data, 5 years of data, 10 years, 20 years, different instruments, different time frames. And what's going to happen is it's always going to be over optimized or curve fitted for the optimal performance for that data without actually, well, not necessarily all the time, but usually there's no logic to it. Don't get me wrong, you will run across instances where you find something special. Okay, but I prefer much to use logic. For example, with this particular strategy, what I would do is, I can see here I have a resistance, support, okay, triple top formation, breakout here of the support, nice M chart formation there as well. And this breakout here would have been an ideal time to get in on this new trend. Lower highs the market is making, and we could have jumped in a simple sell trade there. Okay, on the breakout, and you're looking at almost 400 pips using a trailing stop above the high, all the way down. You could have got a nice move in the space of a few weeks for hundreds of pips, okay, rather than just jumping in there, jumping out here, there, and everywhere. Okay, and how would we achieve that with the expert advisor? Well, what we would have done is we could have had an alert when the MACD crossed the 0 line and the MACD was trending, which would have been around here, and on a Bollinger Band breakout as well, which is also around here. Okay, then we could have confirmed it with our own support and trend, and by checking the trend, seeing that the market is falling, it's making lower highs, there's a breakout of the support level, all the signs were there for a trade. Alternatively, if we just zoom in there, you see here this breakout. Okay, so what happened is price went back in within the Bollinger Band. So we could have been alerted when there was a breakout here. Okay, and that was at the same time that the MACD crossed the signal line. So there would have been an alert there for the MACD as well. And this is what the EA can do. It can send you alert or place the trades when this happens. And if you do it in line with the overall trend, in this instance downwards, you can capture some big moves. But you will need to use your initiative. You'll need good money management, good discipline. Okay, don't get FOMO, revenge trade, fear, greed, anger. You know, we can just look for one good trade like that and maximize it as much as possible, with the EA being a fantastic tool to help you scan simultaneously as many charts as you wish. Now, going back to the optimization, I did run an optimization to see if we can kind of fix this, get some results for this data. So if we sort by profit, okay, there's a decent one up here. Let's double click it, run it. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad, it looks okay, but again, we've optimized for that data. If we take it back another 2 years, run the same settings, what happens? That. And we probably know where our initial test started. It would have been around here somewhere. There you go, not far off. So just don't get too excited when you see good results in a strategy test, because it can just be a matter of over optimization or curve fitting to the data that you're using. That being said, if you use third-party software for back testing like this using tick data that accounts for, you know, commissions, real variable spread, slippage, yeah, and just more accurate data, timestamps as well, you can get better back tests, but it's still always going to be over historical data. So if you are looking for an EA or automated solution, make sure you check that there are verified results that show how it's performed in live trading. Okay, hopefully you found something useful in this video and the various ways in which you can implement this EA within your trading strategy. Please like and subscribe for more. Don't forget, link in the description, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Take care.